Throughout the second half of the 8th century, Islam appeared strongly in the Middle East. Its expansion into North Africa required more than a century of struggles that culminated thanks to the political skill of Governor Musa ibn Nusayr. This governor achieved the pacification and Islamization of the Maghreb, entrusting Tangier's control to an indigenous leader named Tariq. If you like this content, don't forget to subscribe and give like. This helps us to continue creating more videos about the history and civilizations that have marked our world. Now, let's continue with the fascinating account of Islamic expansion on the Iberian Peninsula. On the night of April 27, 711, Tariq crossed the strait with 7,000 men. He defeated Rodrigo's army and went into the center of the peninsula, collapsing the defenses of the Visigoth state. This event marked the beginning of a new chapter in the history of Spain. Years later, Al-Andalus experienced great economic and cultural splendor with Abd al-Rahman III. He restored the ancient Umayyad dynasty on the peninsula, making it independent of the Abbasid Caliphate of Baghdad. However, the situation changed with the frenzied military activity of Abu Amir Muhammad, known as Al-Manzur. Al-Manzur carried out nearly 60 expeditions against the Christians, which increased the budgets of the Muslim kingdom, but also devalued its currency. Al-Manzur's victory sank the weak economy of the kingdom further, creating internal tensions that would lead to its eventual dismemberment. After Al-Manzur's death, his successors could not avoid the fragmentation of the Cordoba Caliphate into Taipa kingdoms. In this context, the Almoravids, under the command of Yusuf ibn Tasfin, landed in Algeciras and defeated the troops of the Lion monarch Alfonso VI, intensifying pressure on the small Christian realms. At the other end of the Mediterranean, the Fatimites controlled Egypt since 969 and maintained good relations with various communities. However, the coming to power of the Caliph al-Hakim brought with it a policy of persecution against Christians and Jews, which altered the stability of the region. Meanwhile, in Europe, the Norman heavy cavalry overtook the Saxons at the Battle of Hastings in 1066, catapulting William the Conqueror to the throne of England. This battle definitively settled the heavy cadaver as the main shock force in open field clashes. In November 1095, Pope Urban II called upon the Knights of Christendom to join a crusade against the Turks and Fatimids. His speech ignited the religious fervor of the European knights, who hastened to sew the cross in its layers as a sign of identity. From various parts of Europe, some 100,000 people arrived in Constantinople at the end of 1096. The Crusaders, using Norman war tactics, launched their heavy cavalry against the Turks, achieving victories that led them to the conquest of Jerusalem in 1099. In the first attack on Jerusalem, the Crusaders carried out a terrible massacre among the inhabitants. Despite the violence, the success of the First Crusade multiplied the number of pilgrims who went to the Holy Land, including knights of the small feudal nobility. Hugo de Payens, a deeply religious knight, decided to create a group of knights to escort the pilgrims. Thus, the Order of Temple was born in 1119 with the support of King Baldwin II. Templars promised to defend the pilgrims against the dangers lurking on the road,